Merry Christmas, everybody. All right, Black Flag Activity Report, Christmas edition. Guys, there's going to be some swearing in this one, a couple dick references. If that offends you, don't listen to this one. All right, Black Flag Activity Report, Hernando Commando. Hernando had been out on bond out of Phoenix, Arizona. His original charges were distribution of narcotics and possession of a weapon by a prohibited possessor. Hernando was a gang member. It was a life that hadn't panned out very well for him, but he couldn't leave it behind. He also had a meth addiction, and when he was using, he would be smoking it all day, 4 days, until psychosis kicked in. According to his girlfriend Jessica, who took care of him, Hernando would get violent during these meth sprees. He had a bad porn addiction as well and would sit around smoking meth and watching porn for days while binging. Hernando's girlfriend had 2 children living with her, ages 8 and 10. The children were from another relationship she had before, and they were not very fond of him. In fact, they were scared of him. They were all scared of him, but Jessica had had enough of his bad behavior and wanted him gone. We got the call from Jessica on a Saturday morning telling us that Hernando was on a meth binge and been on her couch for days, naked, spun out, and watching porn. She detailed that the children had been in the house and that this behavior was not only appalling, it was simply unacceptable. I couldn't agree more. But unfortunately, Jessica was not able to get him to leave. Like I said, Hernando was violent and dangerous. She asked if we would come to the house and remove him as she didn't want to be on the bond anymore and simply wanted him back in jail. She told us that she would open the front door for us and gave us the layout of the home. Hernando was going to be on the couch, which was right in the entryway area of the home. We would almost be right on top of him when we came inside. We geared up, went over the layout and details, and headed to the house. The house, just by chance, was a block away from my jiu-jitsu coach's house, Dan the Demigod Madrid. I was able to say hi right before this alarming encounter. Follow him on TikTok. He's hilarious. Also, nice guys bail bonds in Phoenix, great company, great people. I hope you never have to find out, but if you do, Lance and Katrina will take care of you. Back to the story. When we got to the home, Jessica pulled up behind us. She got out and walked up to the front door. We got out quickly and made our way to the front door as well. Jessica opened it up and we walked in. I was lucky enough to take point on this day. I walked into the living room and was standing there in front of the couch. I could see a glass meth pipe on the table and a torch. I thought, where the fuck is this guy? Because all I saw on the couch was a blanket. Then the blanket moved. I quickly realized that someone was underneath the blanket. That someone, it turned out, was Hernando. Without hesitating, grabbed the top edge of the blanket and pulled it back. Now fully exposed and naked as a jailbird, no pun intended, was Mr. Hernando himself. His phone went flying and landed on the other side of the couch, landing face up. The funny thing, but not the funniest thing, was that he was sure as shit watching porn. I could see the video he was watching and it was tranny porn. Yes, Mr. Meth Head Gangbanger Tough Guy. I looked at his phone and back at him and I said, "What the fuck are you doing, man?" He responded by yelling in an alarmed, high-pitched voice, "Who the fuck are you?" He grabbed a pillow and tried to cover up. I grabbed the pillow and told him, "Get your fucking hands on your head." After a brief tussle, I cuffed him up and stood him up with his hands behind his back. He was still naked and still had a hard-on, which was small, like really small. Still standing naked and clearly embarrassed, Hernando started yelling at his soon-to-be ex-girlfriend. He was yelling things like, "Bitch, you set me up," and "I'm gonna fuck you up for this." I shook him by his shoulder and told him to sit down. We asked Jessica to get some pants for him and a shirt, which she did. Hernando was screaming and demanding his shaklas. We got some clothes on Hernando, and thank God too, because his little wang was still hard, and for a second I thought it was looking directly at me, like an angry little hot dog that had been cooked too long. I mean, seriously, this Jessica chick said he had been on the couch jerking off for days. I mean, what the actual fuck, man? We stood him back up and walked him through the doorway. Jessica was in the house talking shit to him, and he tried to turn around while yelling back at her. In that process, he headbutted me, and I sat him down again, this time on the grass, and in a position that did not feel good for him. He scraped the side of his face up in the process. After a short barrage of angry little man threats, I stood him back up. Easily, too. Hernando couldn't have weighed more than 120 pounds. His cheek and forehead was bleeding now, and the only thing we had to bandage him up was a pink diaper with flowers on it. So we put the diaper on his head and transported Hernando to Maricopa County Jail. Diapers work great as bandages, by the way. I keep some in my recovery bag specifically for situations like this. Hernando was not a good person. He was taking advantage of a family, eating their food, taking up space on their couch, and living inappropriately in front of children. Don't be like Hernando Commando. Be a good person and try to care for others. On another note, we would like to take a second and wish you all a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. We are a very new channel and we truly appreciate everyone who takes the time to watch our videos. We hope the holidays treat you and yours very well. Be safe, Be respectful and always do your best to care for others. It's a crazy world and our time here is short. Be good to each other. Thank you for watching.
These stories are real-life accounts of real people. It's never our intention to promote violence. We are professionals and act as such in the field. We do actually care about the people we pick up and treat them with respect. The names of all people involved have been changed in order to keep their identity from the public and safeguard their privacy. Oftentimes, we are picking people up at their own family's request to either keep that family safe from that individual or to secure their collateral from being seized by the courts or the bondsman, things like homes and vehicles. Once again, we do not promote violence of any kind, and we do believe our world would benefit from more love being in it. So be respectful and always do your best to care for others. Thank you for watching.